farm, and we're on our way home from the machine shop currently, and we just wanted to kind of make a quick update and share with you guys sort of some information, I guess, of what we got from the machine shop. So they've had the head now for probably, I think, about 2 months, and they couldn't get to it right away because of some other work. They told me that flat out, so I knew that it was going to be a while. And now we're finally getting to the point where we're almost done. They went through and did a magnafluxing while I was there when I dropped it off, and they found a crack that went behind one of the valve seat. That's what I'm thinking of. It went behind the valve seat, and so they had to go through and remove the valve seat and make sure that kind of figure out how far that crack went, that kind of sort of thing. And basically they found that it went down into, they called it the cup of the valve, and that's kind of what I'm going to use too, where essentially it goes down into what would be the top side of the valve. So it wouldn't be the side that's again in the cylinder chamber. It would be the side on the I guess you could call it the manifold side of the valve. And they found that it went down there, and that was going to be kind of a difficult fix, was their thoughts. And so he attempted at it and was very successful at it. He was able to get it pinned and get it. They got a new valve seat put into it, and that sort of thing. So now we're just kind of at this point. The reason I had to go up there today, I don't actually have the head with me. I had to go up there and drop off the valves from the head because I had pulled them out prior to getting the head up to the shop. And so they need the valves, essentially the valves for cylinders 1 and for cylinder 1 in order to grind their new valve seat to the valve, kind of get those things meshed back together and stuff, because they had to put in a new seat on cylinder 1. They had to put in an overboard one because of the fact that they had to do that pinning and stuff. So they distorted the original bore for an original valve seat. So they're going to have to grind in that new seat and get it kind of matched back up to the valve. And then they're also going to do I want to say it's the exhaust one, but it could be the intake. I think it's the exhaust seat. They're going to make sure that that's still good, and if it needs to be grinded, they'll grind it. And then they're going to go through and put in the other valves for me. And when I brought those up there today, she showed me, she had it on the pressure testing bench and basically showed me the 2 spots, and it leaked a little bit around the valve seat that they put in today, or after doing the pinning. And they kind of figured that. They said that that's because you're distorting the metal that you have done with I don't know what you want to call it, the pinning, I guess. You have distorted the pins when you ground in the valve seat. So they figured that was going to happen. And then there's also a leak on the number 4 cylinder area, and it's in the valve that we found had coolant in it, which is the reason why we pulled it off again, of course. So they're going to go through, and she said they're going to heat it up tonight with warm air, I guess it would be, is how they do that. I'm not too sure how they do that, but they're going to heat it up, and then they're going to go through and run what they call a ceramic coating in it. And it's kind of like your block sealer that you can get at a normal old O'Reilly's Auto Parts kind of thing, not just an auto parts store. But it's a lot stronger and a lot better of a coating compared to those sort of cheap store-bought block engine head sealers that you can get. So they're going to go through that and do that once, and that'll probably be done tomorrow, I think she said. And they're going to see how that works out. And then they're going to go through, and if that didn't seal everything up, they'll run another one. They can do a second coat on it. They'll run that again through it. And then they can work on putting in the valves and that, and then we'll have a head done. So she said that by the end of this week, we should be able to have a head to us. And we should be being able to put back the Super M together. I did order a head gasket set last night for it, so we've got that coming. And a couple other little bits and pieces with that. I kind of want to give an update on the M Diesel because I haven't talked a whole lot on that lately. We have well, I guess I kind of did touch on that. Never mind, we won't talk about that. So that's what's going on with the Super M. We've got great news on the cylinder head. It's salvageable. You don't have to use the one that we bought from Cody, a group member of mine that has sold me a number of parts for the tractors so far. So that's great news that we don't have to use that head. At least for me, I'd rather use the head off that's original to the Super M with the Super M. So we'll be able to get the Super M put back together here shortly, probably within maybe a week or so, and we'll be working on getting the hydraulics working again on that. I think it's just an airlock problem, but either way we'll have to look into that, because when we got it running after the first head redoing, we had loss of hydraulic pressure, a loss of hydraulic force, and we think that's because just before we had to pull the head off, or just before we chose to pull the head off, we had to replace one of the hydraulic hoses, and I can't remember which one or where it runs to, but one of them had to be replaced because it blew while Dad was raking hay with the Super M. So we'll have to try and see if we can't get that system primed, or what we'll have to do in order to fix that. But we're just another step closer to getting that thing running and getting it back in the field, and it's really great that I'll be able to have it this spring to possibly plow with. We've got a 3-bottom hydraulically lifted plow that I would like to try putting behind it and seeing how it does, and kind of compare it to what it used to. Now, of course, you guys don't know what it used to be like because I didn't start filming on YouTube until after we had decided to pull the head. So unfortunately there's no videos of how kind of rather low power the tractor was before any of the head work was done. So we'll have to get that sort of figured out and solved, and just hopefully everything comes together nicely here this second time. I have a pretty good feeling that it will, and that we shouldn't have any issues with this tractor anymore, hopefully, until eventually we get to the point of needing a total rebuild on the engine, and that's hopefully won't be for quite a while. So we're getting there. We're getting closer on the Super M. I'm glad we're going to be closing that chapter here eventually, hopefully shortly, and it'll be nice to have to plant this year. It's kind of a pain using the 806 because it's just such a large tractor, and like I've said before, the hay raking, I like using that tractor to rake hay a lot better, even compared to the 706 that's capless. That's the biggest problem I had with the 806 is the cap. It's so hard to see out of the cap, but even with the 706, it's not a very it just doesn't work as good as the Super M does, so it'll be really nice to have that Super M back. But I just wanted to share with you guys kind of what has come along with the Super M, and we're going to be putting it back together here shortly, so stay tuned. I got a video coming out soon on the head removal that I filmed, what I filmed doing that, and that should be out sometime later this week, or possibly I might push it off to next week now that I've made this farm update video. And we just uploaded a video, the one about getting the new camera, not too long ago. So we might push that one off and save it for next week, but it's ready to go. It's rendered and stuff, and I just gotta get it uploaded to YouTube, and then it'll be set for publishing whenever I choose that to be. But anyway, anyways, that's all I've got for now. Hope you guys are excited about the Super M news as I am. I'm very glad that this has worked out super well, and that we'll be having our tractor back again soon, and eventually we'll be filming putting it back together. So I'm going to finish getting back to the farm, and I'll talk to you guys all next time.